What's going on, guys? I'm IcyRhythms. Welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going to talk about the thing that everyone is talking about, the Xbox Series X, the reveal, the actual name itself. Everyone's been on this for 2 or 3 days now, and it's time that I talk about it. What do I think? Things to come, different things like that. And I think we can start with the name, the Xbox Series X, and we'll just say this: if this name sticks, because what I think happens is people just like to dump on Xbox. It's been that way for a very long time, even going back to the Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii generation. There was definitely, this group of people that just like to dump on Xbox, and some things change, some things remain the same, and that's one of the things that have remained the same. But there was a time period, and this is definitely a subjective thing, it's going to vary from gamer to gamer, but there was a time where, the first 3 to 5 years, and that will also depend on the gamer and their taste, but the first 3 to 5 years of the Xbox 360 were pretty awesome. I think it was probably the best console to have for a lot of reasons, even with the problems, even with the Red Ring of Death and that whole mess. But it was a good console, had a lot of games, and there were some pretty cool exclusives, at least at first, right? That was when I think exclusives weren't the talk of the town. People definitely talked about exclusives when dealing with the PS3, Xbox 360, and the Wii, but like exclusives now, like the discussion about exclusives and what those mean and what they don't mean is like a way bigger deal now than it ever has been. And I think people just like to talk. I think it's a lot of hot air, and that is also for a different video. But I don't think the name itself is actually a big deal. I don't feel as strongly as some people do that this can cause confusion. I think it's possible this name will cause some confusion, a little bit of confusion, but I don't think it's going to be on the scale that a lot of other people do. I think if you're a knowledgeable consumer and you understand technology, you already know what you're getting yourself into when you walk into the store or order it on Amazon, GameStop, or whatever online. You know what you want, so you're going to get the Xbox Series X. That's just how it is. If it's a parent buying for their 10 or 11-year-old and they need to know the exact name, you would hope that 11-year-old, while they know that their parents aren't as knowledgeable or they don't care about stuff like that as much, you would hope that 11-year-old would say it's the Xbox Series X. But I really just don't think this name is going to stick. If it does, I'm a little disappointed. I don't like the name. I really don't. It's not because I think it's going to confuse people. I just don't like the name. I'm not feeling it. I know for some people it's growing on them, and some of these people are not huge Xbox guys and far from Xbox fanboys. It's kind of surprising to see that some of these people actually are starting to like the name, and maybe that'll happen with me over time if they're going to stick with this name. But I think really it's more of a code name, or it definitely, there's signs for me that say that this is going to be like their best offering, their best console, and there's going to be at least one other cheaper option. And I think Sony will do this too. We'll get into that in another video. It's not really relevant right now, but I do think Sony will do something similar, and you won't have to wait until the middle of the generation to get the best possible machine. Will we still get like a mid-generation refresh from the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X? I mean, I don't know, possibly. It seemed to work somewhat well for them this time around, so I guess it's possible. Mid-gen refreshes possibly here to stay. But the Xbox, I like the Xbox Series X design. That was like the first thing that stood out to me. I'm like, is this really what they're doing? Is this really what we're rolling with? I think it's nice. I think it's a really cool looking console. Yeah, it does look like a little mini PC tower, but I think that's probably is primarily a PC gamer now. What I do like about it, I would expect something like that from Sony, and while I do feel like the Xbox S console and the Xbox One X are better designs than any of the PlayStation 4 models. I do really like those. There's something really awesome and simple about them. I don't know if I like the new design as much as I like those, but I do like it. I really do like it. In many ways, it's what I've wanted from consoles for a long time. And I really expected something like that from Sony or, you know, Nintendo or something. It's just, I didn't expect Microsoft to do this. And I also feel that if this had been the PlayStation 5, if the logo was different and everything else was different about this, and it was like PlayStation exclusives in the trailer as opposed to like Master Chief, and I think it was like a Ferrari or something from Forza in that trailer. If it had been, you know, Nathan Drake and Kratos or something, and just the company had changed, this would be a lot different. I think there's just a lot of people that want to be haters. They want to dump on Xbox. This is a cool looking design, and I think the future is bright for Xbox. Another cool thing that they talked about a day or two later was that you were going to be able to carry over saves and things like that from many of your games throughout the generations. I think the original Xbox, the 360, and the Xbox One, if you can play those games backwards compatible and you have saves for those games, they're going to carry over to the Xbox Series X or whatever they end up going with for the final name on that console. I think that that's awesome. I mean, I don't even think the Steam Cloud stuff is that cool or that detailed just yet. It doesn't always work properly. Like, one example I could give, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, is there may be a fix for this. I haven't found it. I have searched, but one example I could give is Left 4 Dead 2 is one of those games I almost always keep installed on Steam. It never saves my menu settings. It remembers my menu settings from like 10 years ago or something, like 2009, 2010, when I was playing it first on like I think it was like a 1600 by 900 monitor. And I have to go in and change the resolution and all of the settings that I had at that time to what my PC is capable of now. And it's been like that for, like I said, the better part of a decade. If they can't even do the menus right, I'm not going to say that every game is like that. The Steam Cloud, the Steam saves and all that, it works pretty well for the most part in some games, but it's bad when Valve's own game doesn't allow their save system to save my settings from this PC or the PC before it, where I was gaming at 1440p and 1080 and had a whole different list of settings and that options menu and things like that. It's stuff like that it's not like a deal breaker. It's not going to keep me from gaming on PC, but if they're going to allow you to do like options menu stuff as well as the game saves, that's going to be a big deal. I think the Xbox Series X as well as the PlayStation 5, they're going to allow you to do things that I don't think people seen coming. Maybe some of you did, but I think I was talking to a friend last night. I think with the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox, one of the things that you'll be able to do, and you can kind of do this now, but I think it's going to be a little bit more detailed, is change different things to have like performance modes as well as like a resolution, everything turned all the way up kind of mode. But I think they're going to allow you guys to tweak a little bit more than you can do now to get that sweet spot for performance. Or if you just want to turn everything up, that's probably not something that's going to be difficult either. So all kinds of stuff. And I'm genuinely excited again. Like I'm excited for these consoles because, man, the CPU power is gonna just go up. It's gonna be such a large jump, one that was needed this generation, the PS4 and the Xbox One. That's really what I wish would have happened with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Just like a huge CPU boost. I think they talked about that at one point. Maybe it was Sony, maybe it was someone at Microsoft, I can't remember, but the reason they couldn't do a huge boost in CPU power is because it would have issues with the games that they already created. I don't know how true that is. I'm not a game developer. My development knowledge only goes so far, and it's not vast. Okay, so they make these consoles, they develop these games, some really smart people on both sides, Sony and Microsoft. It's I appreciate the effort. I do, and I'm genuinely excited. Now I really want to see what's in store with the PlayStation 5. I'm not going to get caught up in all this mess about which one's more powerful. I think it's possible the Xbox Series X could be more powerful if the PlayStation 5 ends up a little bit more powerful. That's fine too. I think that's what people are waiting for, right? They need Sony to say that the PlayStation 5 is the world's most powerful console. That helps them. That helps some people sleep at night. That's just not me. I can tell you what will happen if the PlayStation 5 is not the most powerful console, is not the best-selling console. We'll go back and spin the narrative to the Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii generation, where this group over here said, oh, just let those Wii and Xbox 360 guys talk about sales, sales, sales all day. It's all about the games. It's my opinion that Sony has the best games. Actually, no, it's not my opinion. Sony just has the best games. But if they do have the most powerful console and they do have the best-selling console, well, we all know exactly what's going to happen. Thank you guys for watching my video. That's my opinion on Xbox Series X. We don't have loads of information. There's people that are making videos on what little information we do have, but I don't think there's enough information yet. Certainly not enough games that are just made on that hardware or the PlayStation 5 hardware yet that we can really look at and say, okay, wow, you know, like this is like a huge jump, a huge leap. I know we have Hellblade 2, and I will talk about that in another video. Thank you guys for watching. All the continued support has been awesome. You guys have a good one. Peace.